button. Basically, we welcome you. We welcome you, welcome you to our California Master Beekeeper Program Certification Program Info Session. You are here because you have an interest in learning about science-based beekeeping and honeybee health, and we're super excited that you're showing up to learn more. I am Wendy Mather. I co-manage this program with Kian Nixad. I've been with the program going on 8 years. I've been a beekeeper since 07, I guess. I had a small sideline business up in Canada for a while. I was able to keep bees alive through the winter. When I moved to California 13 years ago, I couldn't keep bees for the life of me. So I had to start all over. Beekeeping is very much central to where you're at, to the environment you're in. So I'm here as a humble co-learner. I'm always learning. I don't pretend to know a lot about beekeeping. I just like hanging out and learning about it. And I do want to bring our attention and send out some thoughts to our beekeepers and our friends in Southern California. I have a son-in-law down there right now fighting fires. It is quite grave. So whatever positive energy we can send to our fellow beekeepers down there, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Keith.
Thank you, Wendy. And it's a pleasure being here with everyone tonight. Good evening. And my name is Kian. I'm the program co-manager along with Wendy. And my story in beekeeping started relatively recently, around 2019, 2020. And it started with this program. So I'm the advertisement for this program. And the program so I was in college at that time at UCLA, and there was an opportunity to start some beehives on there, and there hadn't been beehives on campus since 1960s or 1970s. And us, the students, didn't know anything about beekeeping. The sustainability officer didn't know anything. And we wanted to really build a program from scratch with no pre-known knowledge. And California Master Beekeeper Program really helped us get off the ground in terms of education, support. I mean, the number of meetings Wendy went through with us really handheld us throughout the whole process. And now UCLA has this whole training program for beekeepers and beehives, and they're also thinking about having honey for the local dining hall. So they've really come a long way. And it's thanks to the California Master Beekeeper Program, and they do this type of work with everyone. And that's really the vision and the soul, and why I joined the California Master Beekeeper Program. We're really here to support you in your journey. Whether you're a beekeeping organization or you're just a hobbyist, we're here to share all the new information that's science-based and help you get wherever you need to go. And also written on the bottom of the screen, if you do join the program, we have office hours weekly. So that's just one of the many ways in which we are always available to you. And Wendy mentioned she doesn't act like she knows everything. That's hopefully even more true for me, because it takes a long time to learn what you need to know for beekeeping. Even then, you're always learning new things, which is part of the fun of it. But yes.
You got it. And we are here because of Dr. Alina Nino. She is the program director. She also oversees the E. El Nino Bee Lab at UC Davis. She is a venerable entomologist. She's been in bees since the 90s. She is her specialty is queen rearing, actually. So we feel rather fortunate to have that as a part of some of the tools that we can draw on. We can offer some pretty awesome in-person classes on queen rearing techniques and instrumental insemination if you ever decide to go that route. Yes, so the three of us plus a team of researchers at our lab are essentially at our disposal. If we cannot answer the questions, we will sure know somebody who can. So yeah, got that.
Thank you. And so now we'd love to hear from you guys, where you guys are from, and have you already been beekeeping for a while? I'm going to launch a poll here in Zoom. We'd love to hear some of where you guys are from and more. So feel free to fill that out. Okay, I'm going to end and share results. Let's check it out. Let's see what we have here. So we have about 50% of student candidates here, 0 hives. And there's 2 people with 4+ hives. So welcome, seasoned beekeepers. Always more to learn. Thank you for taking the time to and being humble and coming to see if there's more to learn. Where are you from? Let's see, about half, NorCal and SoCal, a little bit more in SoCal. Let's see what else. So how do you hear about this program? We're always interested in how people hear about the program. Google search about 50%, some through clubs, and then other as well. And are you part of a local beekeeping club? This is a question we always love to ask because you're going to learn a lot through UC Davis in our program, but in the long run, you're going to want to get involved with your local beekeeping club. That's where you find mentors. That's where you really find the connections you need and share equipment. So it seems like 33% of people, which is pretty large, given that only half the people have 0 hives. So
Yeah,
great to hear.
impressive. Yeah, thanks for your time and informing us. Now we know who we're talking
Yeah,
to.
thank
That's
you guys
helpful.
for filling that out.
Yeah, so folks, as you see on the slide, many reasons to keep bees, right? My reason, it's just fascinating, grounds me. Next. There's various stocks, there's various hive types, right? Different products that you can take from the hive. And there are all kinds of different ways to keep your bees healthy, which is lots of what we'll be learning in our certification program. Next.
Seconds.
Yeah, and if you haven't had an opportunity yet to check out the front page, the main web page of the California Master Beekeeper Program website, there are 9 questions we can ask ourselves before we start beekeeping. I highly recommend that you take some time with that questionnaire. It covers basically what you see here. Super important to answer this before you dive in wholeheartedly. Next.
Okay. So, I'm aware there's a little mark on the screen here, so I'm gonna quickly stop sharing and share again to see if that helps. Here we go. Thanks for your patience. So how does the California Master Beekeeper Program work? So you enter, there's 4 different levels. You can enter at the honeybee ambassador level or the apprentice level, depending on your choice and also your experience as well. So some of it is up to your discretion and if you're eligible. And the certification levels are very helpful, but also I want to keep in mind that entering into this program is really a lifelong tool. All of the resources that you get access to are updated yearly. And even after you take the exam, 5 years, 10 years down the line, you're going to be able to log into the website and access the most up-to-date informational pamphlets, IPM pyramid, most up-to-date legal knowledge that we have. So we're really here to support you more than just the exam and the these certification levels. But these certification levels are very helpful in that each of them have a theme, which we'll go into, and each of them have a a certain bar that is helpful to get to help you kind of learn like the practical aspects of beekeeping, the theoretical aspects, and more. So why would you want to certify? Why would you want to go through each of these levels and take the exams and go through all this work? Some people don't like going back to school, right? Well, first of all, we try to structure this where it's not about the trick questions or this really theoretical knowledge. We're really trying to be grounded in the knowledge that we're teaching you guys, and it's all tied to goal setting. So as Wendy went through in the very beginning of this presentation, people come to beekeeping with many different goals. Some people, they want to just do the honey. They're doing it for the honey. They're doing it for the wax. Some people, they want to contribute to the local ecosystem with additional pollinators. Some people, they do it as a more of like a calming activity, like almost therapeutic. Most people come at it with a combination. So you come at it with different perspectives, and there's many different ways to do things in beekeeping as well. And through this program, you're going to get a wide view of all that beekeeping offers to you and kind of pick and choose where you want to focus on and learn. Also, going through a program will give you knowledge, and this knowledge will be from researchers and from practical leaders in the community, like club leaders all across the state. So the researchers, the theoretical side, and then also the practical side, you get the best of both worlds. Community is the most important, I would say. I mentioned joining your local club. That is incredibly important, and we have a bunch of partners, a lot in SoCal actually, since we have a lot of people from SoCal on this call. And those organizations we work with to produce more content for you and more programs beyond just California Master Beekeeper Program. So when you join California Master Beekeeper Program, you join a really large statewide community. And also credibility. So this is important for some people if they want to have a career or business in beekeeping, having the certifications through the UC system is helpful for that. So who's involved? Who are the partners? So this is an out-of-date map, but it is a map that has most of the close partners we work with. I'll just mention a few: Mount Diablo Beekeepers Association, South Coast Research and Extension Center, UCLA I mentioned. There's also up in the north, Humboldt County Beekeepers Association, and there's a few more that came online that we'll update for next time. And also there's some research labs I should mention and companies who work with like Valley Hive. So it's not just beekeeping orgs. So yeah, there's a lot of people who work with us to make sure you guys get the most useful information. Okay, so now just a little bit of overview on logistics, like how does this program work? How would you register and all of that? So there's a few different steps here. There's one is to register on our website, which I'll show you really quickly how to do. It's a pretty short form. It'll just take 5 to 10 minutes. And then once you're in the program, we have orientation. And it's kind of similar to this call. It's about an hour long. We try to spend a lot of time on Q&A. And then we'll get basically break down all the resources available to you and also talk about all the classes and everything. And then preparation is number 3. So that's actually the studying. And then number 4 is evaluation. So that's taking the exam. Depending on the level, the exam is different. Sometimes it's just a written exam. Sometimes it's a written and a practical exam, as we call it, which is an in-person, hands-on exam. And then number 5, the most important celebration. We have annual celebration. A lot of the local clubs have their own celebrations too. We love to celebrate. Any excuse you have to celebrate, celebrate all the hard work you've done and how far you've come and all your growth. So yes, and there's also continuing education and volunteer requirements to maintain your certification every year. And we're very lenient on what qualifies as continuing education. So even just watching a YouTube video will qualify. And if you have beehives, you're gonna be looking at YouTube and online resources regardless. So it's gonna be easy to meet those requirements. So now I'll show you really quickly the registration process here. So you would go on our website, and some of you may have already done this. You click on certifications. Then there's a lot of information here, which we went over in this call, but even more if you'd like to read more about what is tested exactly on each exam and more. You click on register here when you're ready to register. And then it's going to ask you to log in. So if you haven't created an account, you can click create an account. It's very simple, just username and email and password. If you already have an account, but you have a test account, you click log in. And you log in. And then you go through the application, which shouldn't take more than probably 15 to 20 minutes. And also, by the way, if you don't finish your application, you can come back and it saves your progress automatically every time you click the next step. So yes, when you enter, we have orientation. Go. So we're basically going to go through all those 5 steps I went through with the celebration being at the end and registering in the beginning. So we went through registration, orientation. We also have orientation recorded, just like this meeting. So if you don't want to wait till our next orientation because enrollment is rolling, you can register anytime. Then you can just watch the most recent recording and go along with that. So evaluation. So what I want to share here is more how does that look like if you're interested in kind of understanding that. So there's written exams which are online and then also the practical exams which are the hands-on ones. And depending on the level, you have between 1 and 1.5 years to take these the evaluation. And you could take it whenever you want. So we've made this program, we try to make it as flexible as possible. We know a lot of people have demanding jobs or just don't have the time. So it's really flexible. So the classes, as we'll talk about, run throughout the year and recorded. So if you miss one, you can watch it later. And then also you take the exam whenever you're ready. So you could take it right after you register if you want, if you feel like you're already ready. We don't recommend that unless you're, just trying to speed run everything. And you already know a lot, but we recommend to, take your time, go through the classes, take the practice exams and all of that. So written exam is 2 hours long for all the levels that have it, and is 80% passing. And then I also want to say that hands-on exam, you can do it at home at your own apiary. You could do it at UC Davis. You could do it at one of our partner organizations. There's a lot of options for that.
Yeah, so let me take you quickly through the levels. Honeybee ambassador level, you've never been in a hive before. You're just learning about, maybe you just want to be an ambassador, and maybe taking the honeybee ambassador, at the end of it, you come to the conclusion that, you know what, beekeeping's not really for me, but I'm so glad I took it because now I can tell my friends about all that I've learned. I've known a few people to do that, and I've known some people who have opted not to start beekeeping, but they've gotten into master gardening, and they've established some really beautiful pollinator gardens, or decided to keep native bees, just provide nesting areas in their yards. So basically, the honeybee ambassador level will give you an overview as to what is expected of a beekeeper. Next slide. Yeah, so that's what you'll cover. Honeybee history, biology, techniques around beekeeping, IPM, and you'll learn about the equipment, all the tools you use, and as we mentioned at the top when we did the poll about joining a local bee club, cool factor, most local bee clubs have mentors who would love to invite you to a hive dive. If you've never been in a hive before, join your local bee club. Let it be known that, hey, I'm not sure if I really want to keep bees yet or not. So if you've got a suit that I can borrow, I'd really appreciate it. And most bee clubs do. They have an education arm of the club. They'll set you up. You'll be able to actually get in to a hive and check it out for real. And if it's something that lights you up and you know at that point that you want to keep doing it, make sure you keep going back. Make sure that you establish a relationship with that mentor, because you'll need at least 20 hours of in-hive experience in order to be able to effectively apply and be accepted to the apprentice level, which is what I just said. You need at least 20 hours of being in a hive. And in the apprentice level, you cover all of the basics, everything you ever wanted to know about how to keep bees healthy from a science-based perspective. Knowledge and skill you will learn. Yeah, next slide. And that is a brief overview of some of the content. So I'm not going to read it, but yeah. And then the next level, once you pass the apprentice level with, again, an 80%, right, on both the written and the practical and oral exams, you can apply for the journey level, and that gets more into the anatomy and physiology of the honeybee. It really takes us a deep dive into the art of honey tasting, products of the hive. We also encourage you to join us for our queen rearing technique short course, because one of the skills that you learn at the journey level is how to graft. And even though you're living in, if some of you are in Southern California, grafting and and allowing your queens to open mate is against the apiary law. We still, as master beekeepers, as journey level beekeepers, need to be able to understand how to do it, right? It's just a part of being a beekeeper. So, and I will get to questions in a moment. Thank you for raising your hand, Kurt. Here's an overview of the content at the journey level. Again, the requeening, grafting, and honey tasting are what's different on top of all of the stuff that you learned at the honeybee ambassador level and the apprentice level. At the journey level, you're expected to be able to integrate it all. And that's what you're tested on. Okay. I love the capstone level. The capstone level is project-based. And essentially, whatever brings you joy along your beekeeping journey, just lean into that and turn it into a project and have some fun. It's known that if we can find joy in what we're doing, we're more likely to finish it, right? So we've got some tracks that you could pick from. Some folks love, like I'd mentioned before, the native bees and pollinator gardens. You can do that. You could do, we've had folks start commercial beekeeping businesses. Been pretty awesome. There have been members who've engaged in scientific research. Education outreach is always a big one. And writing policies, or just in some way, shape, or form becoming an advocate for honeybees and native pollinators. And one that's not on here that I'll remember to put on the next time, sorry about that, Chief, is establishing a partner hub. We've had a couple of people who've decided to do their capstone projects just by establishing a formal camp partner hub. Good stuff. Yeah, and as you see at the bottom there, some other things have been, one guy went out and got a dog and trained his dog to be an American foul brood sniffer dog. Another person decided to locate drone congregation areas. Another person decided to write children's books about honeybees. There's just so many different approaches to be able to elevate uh, our community's awareness of the importance of honeybees. And this is what we get to do when we play at the capstone level. So we we hope you all get there someday. Thanks, Kian. Yeah, so basically, here's the summary. All the deets in terms of what you need and how much it costs. And please also note that we offer scholarships. Okay, so if 250 bucks, 300 bucks is not easy to come by, reach out. We have some really great sponsors in our community who would be happy to assist. Um, yeah, next slide. And this is also the fun part too, because it's a part of building community. As much as beekeeping seems to be like a sport of one, so to speak. Uh, the thing that I appreciate about it the most is being a member of the bee club for starters, and seconds around studying with other people too. If that's your jam, if it's not your jam, that's great too, because there's many ways to study independently. We have an asynchronous course available to you at the apprentice and the journey level, and at the honeybee ambassador level and the apprentice and journey level. We have a fabulous study guide, which has been recently launched on Monday, in fact, updated for 2025. You can really design your own way of moving through this material. And you can also check out the various hubs, of which Mount Diablo, Humboldt, and now Davis will have online study groups that you will be able to participate in. And the online study group that will be initiated out of Davis is in collaboration with our uh, partner hub OCB team at the South Coast Research and Extension Center in Irvine. So we'll have a little bit of north and a little bit of south. So hopefully cover all the bases there. And by the time orientation rolls around, we will have, which is on the 22nd of this month, 2 Wednesdays from now, we will have all the info regarding study groups ready for you. And if those times don't work for you, no worries. We will have them recorded and they will be able to be viewed at your convenience if you so choose to study that way. So yeah, next.
Great, yeah. And also, it's just important to note that, as we'll see in other slides that were coming up, there's a lot of resources that we have available for you to study, including study groups, study guide, practice exams, there's a ton, and the classes, and none of them are required. So really, you pick and choose what you need, what you want, and the areas that you think you'd like to learn more, you need to buff up a little bit on before taking the exam. So again, flexibility for you. Nothing is required for any of these resources, but we want to give you as many resources as needed. So a really big one is classes. And so these classes, again, are not required. We do have them live and recorded, so you can go back into the video library on the website, which, even if you're not in the program, we have some of the classes up there available to the public. So if you want to just check out a couple, you can go under video library under classes right now and check out a few there. And we also have this class planning guide. So this helps you plan out what you need to take for what level and to kind of pick and choose your class progression. And who are the teachers, right? It's not Wendy and I for most of them. It is instructors from all across the state, researchers, community leaders, depending on the subject. And then self-guided, Wendy mentioned the fantastic study guides, which has had a lot of work go into them. It's almost like a book, right, Wendy? Maybe we'll make a book very
Yeah,
soon. That's
it's
the goal.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's engaging. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then practice exams are also there. Highly
Yeah.
suggested
I
take
got
practice.
I got the textbook here. I don't know if you
Yeah.
can see it, but let me blur my background for a sec. And that is textbook that we are working with. And it's not necessary to go out and get a big textbook if you don't want to. You can either go to the library or borrow it. Bottom line is, at the end of the day, the only resource that will truly matter is the study guide, for which you will have complete and full access depending on your level for what you need. Because everything that is on the exam, the written exam, can be found in the study guides.
Yep. And then there's also the online asynchronous beekeeping fundamentals course. So just to clarify, it's a long name. Basically, that's another resource available to you where it's like an online module class. You kind of click through, it's interactive. It has quizzes at the end of each module. Some people like learning that way. We have that available for you too. So there's textbook, there's that online click through. There's, as Wendy said, study guide is has everything you need to know for on the exam. So that is recommended to review regardless, but and then collaborative options as well. So we went through study guides and all of that, mentorship with which Wendy had mentioned, office hours every week. We have a Slack that is available currently under use, available a lot of opportunity for growth there. But there's an online forum where we can help answer questions and you can ask other beekeepers questions. And then partner prep courses are basically our partner organizations that we work with. Some of them offer educational programs that are tailored specifically to these exams. And these are a few of them here. And they usually, so those run usually on a schedule. So you would want to start, and they start usually, maybe spring or a little bit earlier than that. So those you would want to get in at the right time and kind of go through because they go through chapters. The rest of these resources that we went through, you can go in it through anytime because they're available online and you know.
Yeah, and that's us. And you know what I'd like you to do for us, please, Kian? Could you work your magic? Dive back into the website and just give us a taste of what it looks like to be somebody who is enrolled as a candidate. And could you please take us to the candidate prep page?
Sure.
So we're assuming we've paid now, we've got our access, and once we have access, we're able to click on the candidates tab, and the candidates tab drops down. There's an overview, then there is preparation and an evaluation tab. And the preparation tab is where you'll be spending most of your time and where you will find a significant amount of resources to assist you in your
Yes.
studying.
Thanks for your patience. They had to change the permissions. So yeah, so like Wendy mentioned, when you are registered, you're in the program, this new tab shows up, candidates preparation is the one we want to show you. So, and we'll go over all of this in orientation as well in much more detail, but just so you see, there's a long list of resources available, study guide, practice exams, the classes, online course, textbook, mentorship. You can connect with people near you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted folks to have a sense. It's always nice to be able to see just beforehand what you can
Yeah,
expect. Yeah. So thank you for doing that.
and video library as well.
Oh man,
Have a
yeah.
lot in here now. And also was a lot of fun for many people are the guest lectures. So those won't necessarily be tested on, but there's a honeybee nutrition, biosecurity, honey fraud, amazing stingless bees. A lot of people love that one. That's Melipona bees in Brazil. So a lot of options here to learn not just the core principles, but even beyond that, even in the beginner levels, if you're ready.
Mhm. Yeah, there is just an endless supply of opportunities for learning. And that's why we like to remind everybody as much as possible that all we really need to do is focus on the study guide. Because everything that's on that written exam, that online exam, comes from the study guide. And anything apart from that can certainly enhance and help us to really galvanize our learning from the study guide. So, like Kian was saying, the online classes that are available to you at no charge, depending on the level of your certification. At the Honeybee Ambassador level, there are 3 online classes that are available to you at no charge. And at the apprentice level, significantly more. And then at the journey level, pretty much everything online is available to you at no cost. Our in-person classes at Davis come at an extra cost. Um, and that all of that information can be found in our class catalog and our class schedule. So I think we have covered pretty much all the basics regarding information about the program. And I think it's time that we invite folks to raise their hand and ask questions. What do you think, Kian?